Have you been doing something for a long time but you don't have any idea on how it should be done and you're just doing it anyway? If your answer is yes, have it ever crossed your mind to learn doing that thing so that you can be more competent and efficient on it? I am Giovanni Gugliuzza, a student in this class under Professor Fabio Moro in Lone Star College, University Park. I have been speaking publicly for a couple of years now. Most of my engagements are done weekly and sometimes by invitation, and rarely I'm being sent to places and some countries to speak. Yet, with the experiences I have, I felt that there are more things to learn. Not just on the content and message I must deliver, but most especially on the art that I am using to deliver that message, which is the art of public speaking. In this class and with the documentary we are required to watch, I have seen that there are things that we thought that we already know because we have been doing it for quite some time. Yet, there are still a lot to learn, especially from the well experienced and professional ones. So, in this presentation, I would like to share to you the things I've learned from watching the documentary about public speaking. Public speaking is an art, not just aiming for a speaker to be heard and relay information, but it aims that a speaker may effectively deliver a message and communicate to his audience with clarity in order to influence, persuade, and motivate them to a certain action. And in order to attain this, according to the documentary, we must give attention to the six important elements in public speaking, which are preparation, presentation, style, content, audience engagement, and the closing. First, we will begin with preparation. With our preparation, the first thing that we need to consider is our audience. Know your audience. Spend time in knowing your audience so that you can hit the right points. Know how much knowledge they have about the subject that you will be talking about and what's their attitude about them. So give time to always analyze them before you communicate. Learn what does your audience need from you and what they are expecting from you. Remember, the very reason why you will be speaking is because of your audience. So that's the first thing that we need to consider is to know our audience. Second, with preparation is organize your content. Organize your content that it will make sense to your audience. So it is important to have a structure in your presentation. A structure that has a freedom within it so that you can express your point of view and your wisdom freely. So in your content, take note of these three key I's. First is inform. Have an objective whether to inform or educate your audience. Anyway, if you will educate them, eventually you will inform them. So that's the first I. The second I is influence. Aim to influence your audience. You are not just there to inform them, but the speaker is there to influence the audience and also to inspire, which is the third I. Inspire the audience to do an action or feel a particular way. Take note, it is important that your content is organized clearly and concisely. Third, with preparation or under preparation is practice. The power of practice is one of the best kept idea about good speaking. Practice makes perfect. And when I say perfect, It should be natural and effective. Take note of this. Best speakers are the most prepared speakers. After preparation is presentation. So with your presentation, start with a bang. That's the first thing that needs to be considered. Start with a bang. Take the first 7 seconds to make a good impression. Use that window of opportunity to get your audience engaged. Don't be boring. Be sure that at the very beginning of your presentation of or your speech, you have to get their attention. Get people's attention right off the bat. Next is present one big idea. Understand that a speech or presentation is not a place to communicate lots and lots of information. A speech or a presentation is a great place to focus on one, two, or three ideas that are really important and get people to do one action. So have one big idea that will bring your audience to do one big action. Next is keep the momentum. Make sure that every bit of information you provide builds on what came before. That each idea should lead to another until you are able to present the whole idea in full. There should be a flow and connection so the audience should be able to recall it like a story. Third, so we have preparation, presentation, and now style. With our style, be your authentic self. There's nothing more attractive than a speaker who is authentic in his speech. When the speaker gives his own voice and perspective, it will be easier for him to emphasize his thoughts and impart his passions. So be real. Audience don't want actors. They want an authentic speaker. Aside from being authentic or being the real you, consider also the voice, tonality, and pitch. With that, don't be monotonous. A monotonous speech is lifeless. It is boring. And it will not engage the audience. Actually, it is the best way to lose the attention of the audience. Remember, our voice is the most powerful and important asset while we are on stage. How you say your speech is as important as what you say. So create dynamics. Use a lot of ascending melodies. Use less of descending melodies. And as much as possible, avoid being monotonous. Let your voice be the music to the ears of your audience. Third, which another style is articulation. Articulate the words by opening your mouth so that your words can be understood and be heard clearly. Form the words within your lips, tongue, the roof of your mouth, and teeth. Be sure that your audience will understand clearly the words that come from your mouth. And aside from articulation, body language. Use your hands naturally as you should when you're gesturing and talking to people. Don't keep on moving around. Just get planted. When you move, move with a purpose. Based on the study conducted by Albert Mahabryan, a UCLA professor, 55% of the meaning of the message comes from what people see. 38% comes from the sound of the person's voice, and 7% comes from the actual words when communicating with each other. So, be very enthusiastic. Let your energy and emotion comes out through your body, through gestures. So, body language. Next is energy. The whole attention of the audience is on the speaker. So it is important to be energetic. If the speaker is energetic and alive, the audience will be the same. Energy is contagious. If you are at the right level, then your audience will be engaged. So be larger than life. Fourth important element is content. With your content, be a storyteller. Storytelling is a great tool to get into your topic and engage your audience. Take note of this. Facts tell, stories sell. So challenge yourself to make people feel something. Your personal stories are what going to move people. Share it. Being transparent and open, sharing your vulnerability and how you overcome hardships will move your audience. Remember, people want a hero and they want to be led by a hero. They want someone who will prove them that they have overcome hardships in the past and you are qualified to lead them through this one. So just make sure your stories are not dragging and boring because the attention span of your listeners are short. Next is make it emotional. The speech must make your audience go through a variety of emotions from being surprised, funny, persuasive, or motivated and energetic. Don't just touch their intellect, touch their hearts as well. Next is the power of pause. Drama and power of a speech is contained in the silences that you create as you move from point to point. When you're speaking and you suddenly make a pause, the audience will immediately give you back their full attention. You can use either dramatic pause or sentence completion pause. Pause between chords allows for emphasis. Next is audience engagement. That is the fifth important element in public speaking. Audience engagement. And with that, remember to connect with your audience, not only with the words or the message that you will deliver to them, that you will make connection, not only with your voice, but most especially with your eyes. That's a very, very important factor in connecting with your audience. Eye contact. So make an eye contact with your audience. Your believability goes up when you make eye contact. Make the audience feel that you are speaking right to them, that you are speaking to them. So make eye contact. Next is audience participation. Having an interaction with the audience keeps them alive and participative. And they will be obligated to give their attention to you. Because if you will do that, it's like they will feel anytime they will be called for participation. So you can do that by being authentic. They must see the real you. Being pretentious will make a big disconnect. So be real, be you. They must see who really you are, okay, or who you really are. And also give enrolling questions by asking positive questions. Introduce yourself. Establish your credibility of what you're an expert in. Remember, they are to listen to your topic that they're interested in. Okay? So share a story also of what was not working in that way they can relate with you. So you must also relate with them and let them know that you get them and crap happens. Then give also your promise, like overcoming the challenge. This will strengthen your connection with your audience. Like having a conversation with someone that as you speak, you allow him to nod his head and agree with you. If not, you allow your audience to think or even ask questions. Under audience engagement is incorporate activities. Incorporating activities will keep the audience awake and attentive. It could be a game or a group dynamics. So those are the things under audience engagement. We have to engage with our audience. And lastly, or finally, the sixth important element is closing. In closing, make actionable points. The purpose of the speech is to help the audience to decide or take action on some great ideas. The speech should not only provide information or knowledge about the things that you shared, but also applying that knowledge. Give the audience the instruction on what they're supposed to do with the information you shared. So, give them. Give them an actionable point. Next is stick to time. Don't go over time. Other speakers, they love to go over time until their audience are bored already. If you're given an hour to speak, prepare a content for 15 minutes and spend 5 minutes for question and answer. Remember, you should stop talking before your audience stops listening. Then, end the speech with a high note. You begin with a bang, end with a bang. Closing remark should be the high point of your speech. Imagine that there's always an exclamation point in every sentence that you will make. Oftentimes, it is your final words that the audience would remember the longest. So what are the best way to end? First, end with a call to action. The whole purpose of professional speaking is to get people to take an action that they would have taken in the absence of your speaking. You can also do a quick summary, restating the key points that you just gave in your speech. It makes it clear to the audience that you are coming to the end of your talk. You can close with a story. People love story. Tell a brief story that will illustrate your key points and tell the audience what the moral is. Be inspirational. Hope is always been the great religion of mankind. People love to be motivated and inspired to be and to do something differently in the future. The last 30 seconds of your speech must send people out energized and fulfilled. The last bits must be inspirational to help the audience take some serious actions. So these are the things I've learned from the documentary about public speaking. I shared and discussed the 6 important elements in public speaking, which are preparation, presentation, style, content, audience engagement, and closing. Truly, there are things that we thought that we already know because we have been doing it for quite some time. Yet, there are still a lot to learn, especially from the well-experienced and professional ones. Therefore, keep on learning so that you will keep on growing. Thank you.